Hello, dear students. Today we shall discuss the chapter 10 and 11 from Aristotle's Poetics. Up to now, we have discussed, according to Aristotle, about the tragedy, about the plot, about the nature of poetic truth and difference between poetry and history. We also learned a lot about the plot construction, that is, that a plot should be complete, should have a magnitude. Magnitude means here the length or the size of the plot. It should be whole. Whole means here that the plot must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And in this way, we saw that Aristotle defines plot, specifically the tragedy, in depth in his book Poetics. Then he defines the nature of poetic truth, that is, what actually the poetry is. Poetry does not mean the imitation of the actual life or actual action or the reality of the life, but it is much more than that. That is, the poet tells us or writes the poetry or the tragedy which may also happen, which might have also happened. So, the future probability and possibility of such kind of actions can be seen through the tragedy or the plot. That is, he wants to say. Then we also saw in the previous chapter the difference between history and poetry. History mentions the actual events and incidents that took place in the past, whereas poetry does something much more. A poet creates the incidents, a poet creates a story that looks like real and that has a lesson or a moral as well. That is, the impact or the effect, cause and the effect of that story is universal. That is, it may happen in future also. That is what we have seen up to now. Now, in the chapter 10, Aristotle tells us about the types of plots, and he gives us the two kinds of plots. Number one, simple, and number two, complex. Here, simple and complex are the technical terms according to Aristotle. By simple plot, Aristotle means to say that in simple plot the action moves forward continuously and uniformly without any change of direction towards the catastrophe. It means it moves gradually towards forward and continuously as well as there are no changes of the direction of the plot. This is called the simple plot. But in a complex plot, there is an abrupt change of direction. We see the change abruptly and the direction is changed. We imagine that this bus will go in that direction, but very soon we find that the bus has changed its route, that is the direction. Such kind of plot are called the complex plots. He defines then that the hero's fortune rise up to a certain point, the climax. in the plot, in a complex plot, what we see? We see that the hero's fortune is rising up to a certain point, and that we call climax. But very soon we find that the fall of the hero is rapidly downwards. Earlier it was moving upwards, but now it is falling rapidly downwards. It means there is the abrupt change of direction in that plot. There are reversals, peripetia, and recognitions or discoveries, anagnorisis. These are the two terms in this chapter Aristotle has mentioned, and these are the Greek words or Latin words which has to be defined. Peripety and anagnorisis are incidents. These are the name of the incidents. These are the meaning of these two words is incidents, and as such they are connected with the plot, and these incidents are connected with the plot. These two words are connected with the plots, and they have nothing to do with the character of the tragedy. It means these two terms, that is peripetia, and the second is discoveries or the anagnorisis. So peripetia means reversal, that is the change, and anagnorisis means the recognition or the discovery of the new incident or new facts. So these two terms, that is reversal and recognition or discoveries, are mainly attached to the plot, connected with the plot. They have nothing to do with the characters. So the exact definition of these terms have been given by Aristotle in the next chapter, that is in 11. So in the chapter 11 we have the complete definition of these two terms, and these two terms are very important for a complex plot, because there takes place the sudden change due to some discoveries and recognitions. So we see that the fortune of the hero that was rising up to a certain point at a time now falling rapidly downwards because of the discoveries, because of the change of the incidents or recognitions. That is what we have seen now, and now we will see in the chapter 11. Aristotle says that there are three formative elements of plot. Number one, peripety, as we have already seen, anagnorisis, and third one is suffering. These three formative elements are very much necessary for any plot according to Aristotle. Now Aristotle says that in a complex plot there is a climax of turning point at which some sort of discovery leads directly to the change of fortune. So after a climax in a plot, in a complex plot, there is a turning point, and this turning point leads directly to the change of the fortune because of some discovery, because of some recognition in the plot, and this change of fortune is called peripety. So this is the definition that Aristotle gives for peripety. So it is, we can say in short, the sudden change in the fortune of the hero, or the reversal in the fortune of the hero. That is the change, sudden change in the plot is called peripety. A sudden reversal of the fortune's wheel. The most effective form of peripety is one that is exactly coincident with anagonesis, that is, discovery of some facts. So the peripety comes from or comes due to some discovery of the facts, discovery of some incidents, coincidence that takes place there, and due to them there comes the sudden change in the fortune of the hero. Aristotle also gives some examples of peripety. He says that as we see in Oedipus Tyrannus, in Oedipus, the play written by Homer, where Oedipus' fortune is reversed at the point where he discovers his parentage. So, in that play, the hero is Oedipus and he reached at a climax, but then there is sudden change in his fortune. His fortune is reversed. Why? Because of some discovery, and that discovery was of his parentage. So because of the discovery of his parentage or parents, there comes a sudden change in the fortune of Oedipus in the plot. So when, after having reached the climax of the plot, there comes a change due to some recognition or discoveries, and these discoveries are called anagonesis according to Aristotle, and the change that comes is called peripety. Then he says peripety can also be interpreted to mean the reversal of the agent's intention. So the incident due to the incidents due to the discoveries, the incident changes. There is the reversal of the agent's intention, that is, whatever the hero intended earlier, now there is change, that is, his or her intentions are not going to be fulfilled. That is a situation in which the consequence of the hero's action is the opposite of what intended. So now, because of this change, the action of the hero also changes. Why? Because there is the reversal. There is the reversal of the situations. So whatever the hero intended was not going to be fulfilled now because of the reversals, because of the change. And this device, Aristotle says, that very effective and full of tragic irony as well. Very good example of tragic irony, because the audience know that. He again gives, or we not he, but the critics gives another example of this situation, that is the reversal of the agent's intention from Duncan's murder in Macbeth. Because what we see, that the results were not what Macbeth wanted or intended. Even after murdering the King Duncan, Macbeth was not happy. Macbeth was not feeling secure and safe. It means earlier, before murdering King Duncan, what he thought? He thought that he would become the king of Scotland and will live happily. There will be no problems. But what happens? After the murder of King Duncan, the situations are changed, and therefore the intentions of Macbeth are not fulfilled. Now he is committing murder after murder. Even then, he is not feeling safe himself. In this sense, peripety becomes a kind of tragic irony, forming the very basis of the plot. So, the peripety is the very basis of the plot. Peripety is the very basis of the complex plot, not for the simple plot, but for the complex plot. Because there must be change in the fortune of the hero that arouse our emotions, that can arouse our pity and fear, otherwise, not. Discovery and peripety, as thus explained, are these are the constituent elements of most effective kind of tragedy. The third element about which the critic Aristotle speaks is suffering in the plot. And what suffering means is the depiction of tragic incident by the dramatist. Tragic incidents like calamity, as murder, as torture, as mimicry, wounding, etc. These are the sufferings, these are the problems, these are the problematic incidents that take place in the life of human being. Due to them, we suffer. So, how a dramatist presents or depicts these tragic elements, tragic incidents, is very important for the plot construction or for a complex plot. In a complex plot, if there is no suffering, then it cannot be a complex plot. This is what Aristotle speaks in chapter 9, chapter 10 and 11, that is about the types of plots and about the elements of plot, that is the formative elements of the complex plot, which are peripety, anagnorisis and suffering. So, thank you very much, dear students. I hope you will enjoy it. Next time, in our next lecture, we shall come with chapter 12 and chapter 13, in which we shall study about the quantitative parts of tragedy as well as the structure of a perfect tragedy, that is ideal tragic hero. So again, thank you very much.